you that that's just telling you that our arrow is continuing, guys. Okay? So the one that we're going to go by is the one on page 1. Okay? So this arrow on page 1, right here, is the center of our pattern. Now, going back to our pattern. Now, I'm hoping this one says it. Okay, it does not. Most of your patterns up here at the top will tell you, and I've got an example here of one I printed off. It's not that one. Huh. Well, I don't know where it went. Well, in any case, it will usually tell you up here like that your stitch count is 100 by 150. Okay. This particular pattern is not giving us that information. I don't believe. Does it say it on this front part? Oh, wait. I believe it's on this front part that I was reading to you earlier. Okay, this design is a 20 by 17.5 centimeters. But what I do, and it's not telling me how many our count is on our chart for our pattern. This one, I believe because they're teaching us here, actually printed me off a full chart. So as you can see, here's our center arrow. So if you don't want to use this other chart and you want to use the color chart, you're welcome to. But this is our center arrow. That's center. This arrow down here is also center. Bottom center, top center, side center, side center. Okay? If you take these arrows and you follow them clear over here and bring this one down, that's the center of your design. Now, to find center on your material, you're going to need to do a little math. Because you're going to need to count from your top line to your center mark. So in this case, every square is 10 stitches. It's 10 across, it's 10 down. Okay? So we're going to count 10. Well, let me make sure that is 10 because that doesn't look like a full 10 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they're going with 8. So our top row right here, because if you notice, they're not the same. See, this one's smaller than this one. That's how I knew it wasn't a full 10. Okay, this one is 10, this one's 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 10, on down. Our bottom row is probably not a full 10 either. Or yes, it is. Our bottom row is a full 10. Yes, it is a full 10. So we have our pattern size here is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and what did I say, 8? 6, Yes, 78. So our pattern size here is 78 down. And 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 across. Okay? So to find our center, we're going to take, what did I say it was? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 78. So 78 stitches. So we're going to take, make sure I'm writing this on the back of this, 78, and then we're going to find half of 78. Was it like 34? So you're going to go over here. You're going to go 1, 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 37. So we're going to go 37 up. So what I did here was I followed our center line over to the middle. And then I started counting up. So I followed our center line to the middle. And met it in the very middle of our flower right here. And I counted up 10, 20, 30, and then there's 8. Or 8, or is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So it's only 35. 35 stitches up is where our top stitch is going to be. 35 stitches up, okay? So then what we're going to do to find center on our material, and where did my little swatch go? Brought all this material over here, and then I lost the one I was going to use. Well, we'll just cut a new one. So first of all, you want to make sure that your material is going to fit your project. So by doing that, you're going to want to make sure that you're counting how many squares crossed. Yeah, mine is big enough. Okay, so I had a pair of scissors sitting here and they disappeared on me. Voila! Ha ha! Okay, so I'm just going to cut this right here. Okay, so here's my piece of fabric. Now, what you're going to do to find center is you're going to fold your fabric. You're going to fold it in half. Crease it really, really good, okay? Crease, 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 crease. Okay. Then you're going to fold it again. So you're going to fold it in 4s. You see how I'm folding it in 4s? You see this point right here? That's our center. that's the center where we're going to start our project. Or where we're going to count from to start our project. I pinch it really good. I pinch it and I pinch it and I pinch it. Then when I open it up, I've got a nice sharp corner. Okay? I use safety pins for this, guys. I use black safety pins. Well, I have silver too, but I prefer the black ones when I'm cross stitching. I'll use silver for markers on crocheting, but I will not. But I like to use black safety pins, the little tiny ones, for cross stitching. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in my very first, and you don't have to be exact precise, you just want to make sure you're getting right into that corner. So I'm going to choose this little square right here as my center. And I'm going to put the safety pin in it. And I'm going to close it up so that they don't get poked by it. Sometimes I'll use needles or a straight pin, but I prefer to use these because then I know they're not going to fall out, and then I have to redo it and redo it and redo it. So, okay, so center is right here on my pin, okay? So what I'm going to do now at this point is I'm going to find me another pin. Now, on this project, I probably won't do this, but what I normally do, if it's a larger project, like if your count is 100 and something, and you got to find center of 100, like say it's 100, and you got to find centers 50. You got to count 50. It's hard to do especially if the smaller the holes are on your material, you really do lose your place. So what I will a lot of times do is I will count up 10. So counting the one that's on my pin and going in a straight line up from it, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then once again, I will place, and I'll show you this in just 1 second here. I will place another safety pin. Now, for me, this is a small, easy project, and I wouldn't do this normally for a small one, for me. But because you guys are beginners, I'm going to teach you this. So, see how I counted up 10 from that one to that one? And I put in another pin. So now I'm going to do it one more time, because our count was 37, I believe. Or was it 35? Well, we'll recount it here in just a second. Get out a couple more of these black ones here. Okay, we're going to count up another 10. So counting the one that's I'm going to make sure I got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Counting the one after the safety pin, that's 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to place another safety pin in the 10th hole. Or the 10th square, I mean. Okay. Now, that's 10, 20. We're going to do it one more time because we got to get to 30. So open up another pin. Okay, we're going to count 10 one more time. So counting after our pin, the one that's on our pin, the square above it is square 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to, there we go. Get it on there. Snap it closed. Okay, so that's 10, 20, 30. Now we need to count 10, 20, 30. And we only want to count to the very top row of our design. Our design is on the same row all the way across. So we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 5. In the camera it looked like 4. It's actually 5. So we want to count up 5. Oh, no. The purple one does go one row higher. So that's that. I was counting this one. So I'm starting from this side. So it is the highest one is 5. So it's 35. So we want to count up 5 more. I'll just use the silver one because it's out here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the top of our design. That's how you find center for the top of the design. Now, if you want to do the bottom first, then you would go from center down to the bottom. But you would only count down, not to your arrow, but only to the lowest point of your design, which would be this row right here where this little square is right here. That would be the lowest point. So you would count down from center to the row where it's even with the square. You'll place your pin right there in that same row. And then when you get ready to start, you will count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 10. And then 11, 12, 13. So you would count over 13 squares to start here, if this is where you want to start. So it just depends on where you want to start. Now, if you want to make it easy on yourself and start in the very center, you can do that too. It's just in where you want to start your project. I usually like to start either at the bottom or the very top. Okay, so I marked the top of our row is the one that's on this pin. Okay. Let me get a needle. I didn't pull out a needle. In cross stitch, I'm going to use this larger needle because of my eyesight. Okay. The normal needles that you're probably got are going to be slightly smaller than this. I'm just going to use this one because it's easy. It'll be easier for me to thread it with my eyesight. So I'm just going to use this one for tonight. Now, I did not pull out the colors that are on here, but I'm just going to use a color that I think that you're going to be able to see. Well, you know what? I do have a bright pink here, and being that the first color is a pink. Now, my daughter does hers this way. I do not do mine this way. But this is another way that you can do your floss. I gave her these rings because I bought these rings and did not like them. To me, they did not. Never put the needle in your mouth, guys. I have a bad habit of doing that, but you should never do that because you can suck that needle right down in your windpipe. So try and remember not to put the needles in your mouth. But this is how she did it. She went out, she bought these here bags here, and then she put a hole punch, took a hole punch and punched a hole in the corner, and she puts her floss in for her project in these bags, and she does it this way. Now, when I was trying to do it, I was trying to do it through the holes that were on the top of my bobbins, and they didn't sit right. And so I never thought of doing it this way. This is not actually a very bad idea, but I've never thought about doing it this way. But we're going to use this bright pink here. Now, it's telling me on my color code chart, but I did not pull these out ahead of time. So I'm just for tonight going to use this to show you how to start your project. Okay, guys? Just a very quick here. You're going to take your floss, and this one's kind of, I guess she's already been into this one. But you're going to take your floss and you're going to straighten it out. And then you're going to open it up, and you're only going to cut off an amount that you're going to be able to use, okay? Gotta find how to open it here. All right. My daughter's like me. I will cut a piece this long. Or slightly shorter than this. She's got hers a little longer than me, but the piece about this long. Now, when you get your floss, well, actually, I'm going to use this one because I want you guys to see how to do this from the very beginning. Okay, so this one's not been separated yet, so I'm going to use this one. This is your floss, okay? This is all the full strands of your floss. See it? Okay, I don't know. My phone's not going to focus. Okay? There are 6 strands on every rope. There's 6 strands of floss on here. Okay? This does not count as one. There are 6 of them on here. Okay? Your project will tell you, most generally on your legend, your project will tell you how many strands to use. Right here it says, use 2 strands, and then it says it again in a foreign language, but it says to use 2 strands. And it's showing you to separate 2 strands. You're going to separate 2 from the 6, okay? So to do that, you're going to fan them out, like it showed you in the picture. You're going to fan them out a little bit, and you're going to find 2 strands. Now, then you're going to slowly pull them. I like to do this. Then I let go, and I re-grab. Then I will grab. Oops, she has a knot on here. I do not believe in knotting, guys. You do not knot. I don't know where my scissors just went. Here they are. I'm just going to cut it off because I'm not going to take time to mess with it on camera. But, okay. So there are the 2 strands we're going to use. This one is the leftover, the other 4. The other 4 strands are on here. I usually just place them off to the side. And then I make sure that my ends are even on my 2 strands. So I make sure that these 2, and let's see if I can show you here. There we go. Okay. See the 2 strands? I only have 2 strands here. I make sure that my ends are together, and equal. And I just kind of run my hands a couple times down to make sure that they're nice and smooth. And then I usually get the end wet because that helps the thread go through the eye of the needle. And I hold the needle out of ways because of my eyesight. I used to could do this up close. Oh, I got it on the first try. Okay. And then I usually just pull it down and I leave a tail about yay long. You see how I did that? Now, notice I'm not knotting the end. We do not knot and cross stitch, guys. No knotting. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to count from our top pin. Now we don't have to count from the bottom or anything anymore because we've already done that. Now, where our arrow is showing us right here, we're going to count over. We're going to count down, actually. So we're going to count down from that arrow. Or actually, we're going to count from our pin. So our pin is, right now, our pin is sitting right here. So we're going to count over three stitches over from where our pin is sitting. Okay. I'm going to go to the lavender one over here. Because it's the closest to the pin. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to count 1. Our pin would count as 1. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 would be right. I'm using 14 count 8, guys, because that's what the pattern recommended. So that's what I'm using. So what we're going to do, pull it through to where there's just a little bit of a tail. See how we got a little bit of a tail there? And then you're going to put your finger right over the end of the thread. I usually do it in an upward. I usually push the thread so it's pointing straight up. Put my finger over it. Then I'm going to make my first cross. So I'm going to go from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. Put your I'm sorry, guys. My camera doesn't really have a zoom. So then I'm going to pull it through. I'm still holding it on the back side here, guys. So you're going to pull it through. Not super tight. You just want it nice and even on the material. You don't want to pull it till it puckers. You don't want to do it tight. Okay? So it's kind of hard for me to show you, but now you'll see I still have that loose tail. So I'm going to fold that tail over my material, over my string. Right over the top of my string, and I'm going to bring my string up over it, and I'm going to come back up on the upper left corner of that square. I don't normally have this, but this is a big needle, so it's hard to get it to go through the hole. Okay. So as you can see, I'm pulling it, and my thread is underneath. Now it's underneath the little loop, and I'm gonna pull it down. And I'm gonna pull it tight. See how it caught it? You see how it caught it? Now it's anchored, and we didn't have to knot it, guys. Now, on your next couple stitches, you want to fold it the direction of your stitches, and you want to stitch right over that tail. Okay? So now we're going to go back down in the right bottom corner And that completes our first cross. Okay? Pull your thread kind of slow, because if the faster you pull it, if you pull it too fast, that knots it. Okay? Now, I found what really helps keep your thread from knotting is thread conditioner, guys. So, and I have some, but I don't have it here right now. I don't believe I do anyway. I thought I brought a... you can buy accessories like this, where you can put your bobbin. You can put your bobbin in here. Like so. And you can, it will wind your bobbin. It will wind your bobbin up, guys. See, I can't remember how to do it. It's been a long time since I've done it, but it's a bobbin winder. So you can find things like that. No, my thread conditioner is not in this one. Okay, well, I don't know where it's at right now. You can buy little, for fairly cheap, you can buy little tiny square cubes of what's called thread conditioner. And it's you take and you what I do is I put it right here at the tip up here by the needle, and I take my thumb and I push it into the conditioner, and then I run my thread all the way down as far as I can to as close to the fabric as I can get it. And then I take my finger and I kind of massage it into the thread. And what that does is it helps keep your thread from tangling quite so much. I mean, it's not 100%, but it slows it down a lot. So as you can see, guys, we have our first cross. Now at this point, you can ditch all the pins. You have just found and your starting point on your material. Okay? Sometimes I will leave the center pin in just so I know where center was. But on a project this small, I wouldn't even worry about doing that. So like I said, you're going to want to fold that thread in the direction of where you're going. So point it over. And then when you go up your next one, you're going to go up to your far right corner. Your upper right corner of your square. It's hard for me to do with this huge needle.